This is your man who did it this time, coming at you with another episode to the classic series, The Scouting Report. And the title of this piece will be called Check Your Depth Chart. In all sports, team sports that is, coaches have to face critical decision-making situations every single game, sometimes even in practice, due to the hustle and bustle of the sport, attrition, situations as mentioned before, and changes mid-season. Now I know that we are in the first quarter portion almost with the NFL. We have just started with the NBA, NHL's on the way, and we are in the playoffs for MLB. That's Major League Baseball. There are other team sports that might be going on right now, such as soccer or fall ball sports. I apologize, I'm not dissing you. I'm just talking about the sports that I follow, and I will use it as a metaphor for all things by the end of this piece. But in team sports, coaches have to talk with their assistant coaches about depth charts. Well, if point A goes down or player A goes down, what is player B looking like this week in practice? If player B is suspect, C will move up to the B spot, and so on and so on. B will move up to the A. If you have a dual situation, or both 1A and 1 sub A, or 1B, pardon me, that's a very hard decision to make midweek if you're talking football, and between games if you're talking other sports such as baseball and basketball. You have to know who's next up in line in case of an injury. If you're dealing with collegiate sports or scholastic sports, in case of eligibility reasons why this player cannot play the next game. Well, as we always do with Scouting Report and all of the pieces here on Who Did It's channel, we like to talk about the metaphor. What does that mean in your personal life? Get your team together. When we was all kids, whether we was playing sandlot football, baseball, hooping at the court, sometimes you had to have 2 or 3 captains. You feel me? And then when that would happen, if you all could remember, you pick teams. Well, sometimes you're basing that off of a fanboy type tip, which we don't encourage on this channel. But in most cases, you want to know who's next up. So with all of this foolishness that's going on in our world today, and then the seriousness that is hidden, such as the ports, such as diseases, and other possibilities of a so-called shutdown. All of these things are important for you to discuss with people. But when that first group of people acts or disses you when you're trying to wake them or add any type of layer of consciousness to their psyche or their heart or their minds and spirit, and they play you, it's time to move on, dog. It's time to move on. It's time to move on to the next person. And sadly for most brothers and sisters in the known, when our families discourage us, or your friends or your loved ones discourage you by pushing you away, or just being disrespectful, you may have to go down to the most simplest form as a neighbor or a stranger. And when I say that, I mean tread lightly, because people are spiritually damaged, emotionally and mentally damaged. But when you're having conversations that are about serious things, and when I say serious, I mean what's going on in our world today, or what's going on in their own personal world, abuse of all sorts, isolation, different type of vices men and women face every day with pornography, gambling. Man, some people just hate themselves, and you try to give them the game, as we say, and they dish you. You have to go to the next man up, as Mike Tomlin would say. And y'all know I'm not a Stiller guy. Next man up, man. It's not personal anymore, because you have to build a team around you for your own mental, spiritual, and emotional health. You have to start building the next team around you. That's not for you all to say when you get off this piece. I'm going to say when y'all got off the phone. But when y'all get done listening, this is not an encouragement for y'all to diss people and be like, well, then F it then. No, they may come back around, but some people just need to be woke up. I tried to tell you about this and that. I tried to help you with this and that, and you just keep jucking and jiving and dissing me. Ain't nothing wrong with giving the game to somebody else. You're very important, and for those who wonder who I'm talking to, if you have to wonder, I'm not talking to you. But this is, maybe a good piece for you to wake up, because maybe you're on somebody's team right now and you bullshitting, pardon my language. You got to start paying attention, man. If you're on somebody's team and you being distant all the time, or you're not paying attention, and you're not paying attention to the calls that are made by your captain, and your captain could be your mother, your father, your sister, and so on. If you're not paying attention to what they're saying, they may move on from you, and you just got knocked down a peg. Brothers know where I'm coming from. Back in the day when we wasn't living right, some of us right now still may be in between women. She don't get right, with all due respect, somebody else will. And ladies, I'm not promoting you to be promiscuous, but there probably were times where men were practicing chivalry and trying to go through quarrels to get to you. You are the prize. If one dude ain't with it, the next man up. So this is just, a metaphor for you all to encourage your own psyche when it comes to making decisions in your personal life. And sometimes it's not fun, but we like to preach and promote awareness on this channel. Okay? So I'm your man who did it. Right now I'm being in the coach form. And this was the scouting report. And the title was called Check Your Depth Chart. Make sure you're looking at it. Alright? P. Sorry about that. Please remember, not P. Please remember, your team is the most important thing in these last days. Trust and honor. Alright, I'm out. Peace.